It's a pleasure still watching here on the Morning Breeze. My name is Dalton Kawesa on this segment of the topical discussion. And at the command center, we have the leader of opposition, also doubles as the spokesperson for NUP, Honorable Joe Senyonyi. At the time of the break, we are looking at the harmonization process and how it is working, the scores and the gains. But also, due after the Honorable Latif Sebagala outburst, a disciplinary committee was established and given a week to give its report. It's not only about Honorable Latif Sebagala's outburst, but also other emerging issues as a society in NUP. We want to find out from Honorable Joel, how far, maybe before we go there, Honorable Joel,
yes, sir.
You've spoken unequivocally on the harmonization process. And while many critics say that it is a smoke screen to age out those that you believe do not actually stand for the values and name it for the party. And at that point, when you are concluding, I want you to conclude with that point, then we go to the disciplinary committee. How far, by the way, with the disciplinary committee? Those are two questions.
I don't know what narrative you want to drive, because you're insistent that harmonization is to lock out certain people. Harmonization is voluntary. In fact, it is candidate driven, aspirant driven. That aspirants will sit on their own and talk. In face of failure? Eventually there is a process. Yeah, but I don't want to say it because that harmonization is still ongoing and all of that, yeah? So I don't want to say it has failed entirely because it has worked in a number of places. But you seem to be vilifying it, I don't know why. That when people sit and they say, look, let's not fight. Because the reality is, when all strong people go on ground and fight, it will be a challenge on our side. They will give advantage to the other person. So when they sit, and then one or two painfully say, let me leave the race. Yeah, they do it painfully because they also had aspirations. They are capable leaders and they had what it takes, but they're saying, look, if we all run, we might lose it to somebody on the other end. Why is that supposed to be a bad thing? Why are you trying to vilify it to say, but why are you removing this one? Because for you, you're saying, all the three of you, you go in the race. Yeah. Divide the vote, you are the lawyer, and then you lose. You have to listen to other voices. And that's the voices we're echoing, yes. And me, I'm saying, while you are saying all of you go and run so that you divide the vote. Me, I'm saying it's a good thing if they sit and some will sit, because it's always a painful decision to take when you have dug your heels in and you're going. But it's a decision one takes painfully to say, let me step out so that we don't divide our votes. For us as a party, that's a good thing. For you who wants us to go on ground and fight, you are unhappy. Remain with your unhappiness. There's nothing I can do about it. Okay. Coming to the disciplinary committee that was set up by the principal, it was given a week. I want to hear from you. What if the outcomes of the report? Number two, from your assessment, does internal challenges, does it manifest? Are you in control, or somehow the structure, the leadership is losing grip of these people, the party supporters and the leaders? That's a very interesting question. So how do we not get to be in charge, and yet we are saying, okay, let's put in place a committee. Whoever has complaints, bring those committees. They are doing their work. At an opportune time, they will give a report to the country. So I won't even tell you this is happening and so on, because we said we're not going to interfere with their processes. So we said, whoever has a complaint, please do take it. Okay? If you have a legit complaint, do take it. It gets to be listened to. Because we don't want, no one is untouchable, as I told you earlier on. No one is indispensable. No one. So people who have complaints get to share them, and then they get to be processed, and and we deal with what needs to be dealt with, so that nothing is pushed under the carpet. Sometimes it might be propaganda. They threw all manner of propaganda at all of us. Yeah, but somebody might say, I know for me it's not propaganda, I have a real concern. Bring it, gets to be attended to.
So as you celebrate 5 years of the party, one of the things that still linger on is the court case. How has it affected you? How are you navigating it?
There's been many court cases.
The ownership, the recent, yes.
That's a matter, by the way, that was determined in 2020, in the run-up to the election. Some people within the state keep thinking they can revisit it and so on. But look, what they're doing is trying to fetch water using a basket. They will not go far. In the run-up to the election, the state took us to court with their machinations, as I mentioned earlier on. Everybody saw Mzee Chibalama in court, pleading with the judicial officer, the judge, saying, please help me. These people abducted me, tortured me, and they're saying I should tell lies against Honorable Chagulanyi and the new leadership of NUP. He said that. You people were in court covering all of that live. Yeah. Eventually, we won. And the people who took us to court, they haven't paid us costs yet. Maybe we need to remind them that, by the way, you have not even paid us costs, you know. So they are trying that again. It will fail because they don't have any ground. Yeah.
Still on let me talk about now about the constitution of the party. Last week we had the Secretary General talk about how you had a new constitution, but somehow it has been prevented and you're using the old constitution. And we want to hear from you, how is that old constitution or the constitution you're using currently affecting the nomination process that is supposed to be taking place?
We inherited the 2004 constitution. A lot has changed since then. But even then, the aspirations of the people who formed the party at the time might not necessarily be the same as ours. So we said, let's bring our constitution up to speed with the goings on of the day, with our democratic aspirations, with our needs and wants in as far as the kind of leadership we aspire to have. And that's why we said, let's make amendments, you know, so that it's more inclusive, more democratic, and so on and so forth. Yeah. We did file it, and the state, working with some people, have frustrated it to date. I think they thought that by frustrating that we shall not move. We said, well, as we frustrate that, we have a working constitution. It's not the best. That's why we had a delegates conference at the time and amended it, because we wanted it to be better. But since you're frustrating that, we will work with what we have. And so we are moving. Yeah, so we are cognizant of the fact that it is not as awesome as we want it. That's why we sat ourselves. No one told us to. It is us who said, but no, we can make this better. We can tighten, you know, all the different loose ends. But as the state is frustrating that, we're not going to sit on our laurels. We are saying we have got a working constitution. Let's work with it and move. That's what we're doing.
So